my name is Buddy Pajak, and my Instagram handle is at Buddy_Pajak. And I think a little intro to my process or inspiration is I'm really getting into I guess kind of mixed media style lately. Stuff that allows me to be in the moment, stuff that isn't so tight, and which is something I'm always kind of trying to battle with myself. I want to feel a little more loose, a little more less confined, and ultimately it just makes for more fun. And you know, if I can't get in the studio and not have any fun, then you know, what's the point? So always for looking for ways to keep myself excited and engaged, and I think these kind of weird, creaturey, you know, bright colors and shapes kind of do it for me. You know, they kind of keep me coming back to the studio, and that's, I think, what I'm always looking for is a reason to come back and enjoy making work. You know, I don't want it to feel like a job, even though it is. I'm the kind of person that I like all mediums, right? So I'm not one that's just partial to one or the other. Like, oh, I only use oil, I don't touch anything else, because they all have their advantages and disadvantages. So I try to utilize that to my advantage, I guess. So for example, if I want to lay down something real quick with a lot of I don't know, a lot of expression going on, I'll usually use anything that's water-based because it dries quickly. I can manipulate it quickly. You can just kind of work in the moment. Oil I really like, and it's oftentimes like I'll use oil in my murals actually, or you know, and it's because you can blend it, you can methodically sort of move it around. It's oftentimes more pigmented, so if you really are looking for a brighter color that you just aren't achieving, you know, oftentimes oil will kind of give you that. It allows you to sort of melt the two pieces together, but I oftentimes do it at the end. You know, it's kind of tough to work oil first and then, you know, other stuff on top of it. But the mixed media stuff is something I love. I love being outside. I love just throwing random stuff on it and seeing what happens. I really enjoy starting with a background that is loose and gets me engaged before I get into the more tight, kind of heavy thinking, very planned. You know, I kind of save that to the end. I really want to just get in and start having fun, loosen up first. So most pieces I try to do something that allows me to, I guess, achieve that. So oftentimes I have this stuff called Kamar varnish. It comes on a spray can. And it seals anything, you know. I use it on oil, I use it on charcoal, I use it on whatever, and I kind of has a slight shine to it, but it's not too overpowering. And then oil also works well on top of it, or vice versa. You can spray it on your oils and it'll kind of seal it in there. So that's the stuff I've been using a lot lately, and it allows you to take anything, seal it in there, and then you can work back on top of it, which is kind of what I tend to like to do anyways. So, well, growing up, it was, you know, I was real into like comics. I was into like horror. You know, I love horror movies. I was just into like, I don't know, kind of Beetlejuicy. I always thought combining, sounds weird, but sort of combining the macabre or like death with humor, I always thought was kind of interesting. Let's see, you know, I've tried almost anything now. I have a wood burner, I do a lot of wood burning.
Okay.
You know, watercolor has its place. I'm trying to think what I haven't used. And honestly, I'm kind of experimental and curious by nature. So just about anything I can grab and throw on, I sort of do it. I don't really treat my work as too precious or particular, like it only has to have this one sort of thing. There's an artist I follow that I really like named Alex Pardee. Yeah, so that dude's style is something I always kind of try to emulate, and it's a lot of line work.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
The Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I really enjoy looking at that guy. When I see his work, I feel inspired. Like, man, I'm gonna do that too. Yeah, his style's kind of crazy, and but line work. I think growing up, I was always real interested in line work. I always liked pen and ink and ballpoint pen, and just kind of old school kind of skate style. I always liked. So I try to bring some of that in to my work if I can. They evolve, yeah. They rarely start, or I should say, they rarely finish the way I initially thought of them. And I enjoy that. I think when I was in art school, you know, my teacher really sort of taught me to design your piece in such a way that it can be manipulated, and when you discover stuff that's working, you can roll with it, as opposed to already having these strong confines, you know. I think when I first started out, probably like a lot of people, everything had to be fully rendered out, right? I had to draw everything, every line had to be drawn in, and it was like, that was my roadmap. And I kind of realized that I was having fun when I was doing that. If something about it felt sort of stale, and I like to draw, you know, but as I started having more fun, I realized that whatever the piece was doing, and I could pick parts that like, oh man, I just wanted to allow room for discovery, essentially. And that took practice. That was not my initial style at all. It was always very planned, I guess. So I went to Texas State, yeah, and I got a drawing degree. I always could kind of draw. That was never a problem. I was able to kind of go in and create, for the most part, what I wanted. But in terms of what I was doing, you know, I didn't fully understand how important that is. And art school taught me that. You know, for whatever reason, I don't really fully remember how or why it came about, but I just chose studio. I think because I was having more fun. You know, I think initially I was like a digital sort of communication design. And like me and computers don't really mix that well. You know, I just was like, I don't enjoy this part at all. So, but my studio classes where I was hands-on, I was free, I could move, I could make messes. That's when I was like, man, I'm having fun. And that's kind of when it started. And I never initially aspired to be, an artist as my job. It just slowly turned into that. Moving to Austin, there's just so much more opportunity to have gallery shows, to meet other artists that actually care about art and what they're doing and what you're doing. You know, it's a lot of doors have been open since moving here.
Amazing.
Good.
Well, thank you.
All right, of course. Thank you guys. This is great.